But as it has to do with your kids, and as it has to do with them, there is power in loving, appropriate touch. It's important. We shouldn't be freaked out about that. One of the things that the experts say is that when young ladies get to the preteen years, is they require more appropriate touch than they ever have before in their lives. And what's weird about that is, though, is unfortunately that dads start getting freaked out about it at that point. So they begin to back away. And moms do as well, but they need that. You might not believe this, but it's actually true that preteen boys are in the same situation, is they require that even more. But we back away, and especially for us guys, whenever our kids start getting a little bit older, our guys, is we kind of tend to back away. And we guys have weird rules about touch. I mean, we don't like to do it. You know, it's kind of like, it's the unwritten guide rules of touch. It's like, okay, a hug kind of like this, you know, 3 pats, not 4, get away. All right, it's cool, we get away. And because we don't like to do that. But what's so weird about that is guys need touch. Okay? You don't believe me? Go watch a football game this afternoon when they're really getting into it. They're really getting close. It's like they can jump up on each other. They can give full body frontal hugs. They can slap each other on the rear end. The rear end flat, not cupped, of course. That's another rule. And they can do that, and it's no big deal. And it's like it's all totally okay. Okay? I know this may sound a little bit weird to you, but as these young people, these little ones that we call our kids are coming up, they need loving, appropriate touch. And I'm not an expert on this, but I've got a hunch, I've got a theory, that a lot of people, young people that go through their preteen years, and they get into that kind of out of middle school into high school phase, and they start getting into sexual promiscuity. Not in every case, but in a lot of cases, the reason why is because they didn't have a good example of appropriate touch at that age. And so what do? They say, I need something, I need this, and then they go and they get inappropriate touch. And it's something that then they have to battle with for the rest of their lives, and then they wind up in places like churches and counselors trying to get rid of baggage that was there from years and years and years and years ago. One of the things that I love to do, and I do actually make a very intentional mental note of this, is I try to hug my kids a lot. And I try to hug my boys, and I still do kiss them at this age. And I know when they get a little older, it's going to change. And it may be more of the high five, slap on the rear end kind of thing. And it may change a little bit like that, but I want to make sure that they know that they've got a daddy that just loves them, who's not afraid to break that space to give that right there. Now, a lot of people are listening to this right now, and you're going, man, Andrew, that's great for a person who's real touchy, but I'm not touchy. I just want people to stay away. I want to bubble around me, and I want people no less than 3 feet away from me. Now, I don't know, there are people that are like that. I know you may be like that, and it probably has a lot to do with the way that you were raised, the way that you grew up. But I want to tell you, when it comes to do with your kids, is you've got to change that. You've got to get over that. You've got to do it the right way and go there. You do it the right way so that somebody else doesn't come along sometime and do it the wrong way. Okay? Loving touch. Second unchanging principle is this right here. Number 2 is abundant time. And it's been said this way. How do kids spell love? They spell it T-I-M-E. Mark 10, verse 13. It says, people were bringing little children to Jesus to have him touch them. But the disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant. Basically, that word indignant means he was ticked off. They told him to back away. He was ticked off, and he said, let the little children come to me. What was he doing? He was saying, I'm going to give them time. I'm going to give them love, and for them, it is spelled T-I-M-E. And that's something I think probably is the greatest challenge that you and I, as moms and dads, face with our kids today, is that one little issue right there. How many of you enjoy, like me, watching auto racing? Enjoy watching NASCAR? There's actually, 3 of you. Whoa, golly. I was expecting a few more than that. But, okay, so the 3 of you that do like watching auto racing, like me, you'll know that in those things, they go around and I have people tell me all the time, it's not a real sport. Does anybody think that it's not a real sport? I just want to slap people who think that. Okay, I'll slap you later. It's like straight, left, straight, left. Anybody can do it, right? No, it's actually a lot harder than that. There's more to it. But one of the things that they do in those races is they come into what's called the pit stop. And within 12 to 15 seconds, they can refuel the whole car, they can change all 4 tires, and the driver can eat a Happy Meal, basically. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. In 12 to 15 seconds, they can do full circuits and make adjustments on the car so it works better. It's an amazing thing. Unfortunately, this is what's going on in your world and in my world today, is we have a lot of pit stop parents that within a few seconds they're trying to get the job done for their kids, get them adjusted, get them where they need to go. And folks, it does not work that way. Yes, life has changed from the way it was 50 years ago, but this is one thing that will not change. These kids need time. Actually, here's the research. They said that dads, on an average daily, when it is in regards to quality time, where it was in interaction with their kids, not maybe sitting there, kind of watching TV or whatever, but quality interaction, they said the average was 37 seconds a day. That's pit stop parenting, and that is not going to cut it, and no wonder why we see so many folks that are getting ready to launch their life, and they're having a lot of trouble, okay? We got to change that. We can change that. Now, here's the deal. You and I know that life is hard. It's difficult, and we're busy. And it's so many of you and so many of us, we have to have 2 careers, just to make ends meet. And you've got to work really, really hard just to get it done. And I was talking with somebody the other day, and I was even catching myself because I'm like, man, I feel like I don't know my neighbors as well as I should, because I'm in the car, I'm out the garage, I'm out the door, and I'm back in because I'm so busy, I'm running back and forth, and I just don't have time for the things around us. And life is busy, and you've got to be busy, and you've got to do that to make it happen. And I can't imagine what it would be like for those of you that are maybe a single parent. That's got to be just double or quadruple the difficultness of trying to fit in time for your kids, because now you're trying to take the whole load for yourself. You can't maximize the help from a partner. And I really don't know how a single parent does it. I mean, if you're in that situation, man, God bless you. God bless you. You need the prayers of the Lord, and you need the support of the church more than really anybody else. I mean, it is an amazing, amazing task. But here's the thing. No matter what your situation is, do not make that an excuse to not spend time with your kids, period. There's no other way around it. Yes, we're busy, but you will make time for what is important to you. If this is important, you have to make time for it. Some of you have just got to make a decision right now. Okay, you know what? My kids are important. I'm not giving enough time. I'm not going to make as much money. Period. That's the decision I'm going to make. I'm going to set this on my calendar, block it off. This is going to be time for my kids. I'm going to push everything off to the side, even though it's calling and shouting at me. I'm going to get the cell phone out of the way. This is the time to do it. And you've just got to make that decision. You've just got to go for it. And let me tell you what, that will be a battle that I believe that you will fight for the rest of the time that those girls and guys are in your home. But fight it and win it. You can. You have to make the decision, and you have to go for it. Billy Graham, you know who he is. One of probably the most greatest evangelists that has ever lived. And he was asked one time, he's pretty old now. In fact, I believe his wife just passed away not too long ago. He's pretty old. And somebody asked him, Billy, if there's anything you could do, going back through your life to change anything that you've ever done, what would it be? And basically what he said is this. He didn't say anything like, I wish I would have gone to more places to preach the gospel. I wish I would have done this, or set up this school for the blind, or done this great project for the Lord. He didn't say that. He said, I wish I would have spent more time with my children. Wish I would have spent more time with my children. James 4:14 says this, what is your life? It says, you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Your life is a mist and then it goes away. Make sure, don't let that time be squandered. Don't let it be vanished. Do the things important. Abundant time. So the first thing is loving touch. The second unchanging principle is abundant time. And number 3, the last one, is encouraging talk.